We're in this environment of, regulation by enforcement. I don't feel like there's a clear rule book. The only sort of high-level statements they've made is that everything other than Bitcoin is a security, which that's just not what it says in the law. And by the way, that would also kind of mean like the end of the crypto industry in the US if that was actually what happened. And so we have to go to court to challenge that. We're proud to do it for the industry and for America.
On June 5th, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed a lawsuit against Binance and its founder Changpeng Zhao. The chief compliance officer of Binance summed up the reason for the lawsuit rather succinctly. Just a day later, the SEC also filed a lawsuit against Coinbase.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
The lawsuits against them focus on two primary complaints. The first complaint is that they are operating unregistered securities exchanges, while the second is that they are facilitating the trade of unregistered securities. There are several additional charges against Binance and CZ that include failing to restrict U.S. investors from using Binance.com and, more importantly, misleading investors. These additional charges are eerily reminiscent of the FTX collapse that was uncovered last year. The SEC is alleging that Binance is commingling billions of customer funds, artificially inflating trading volume, and instituting sham platform surveillance. It's unclear why the chairman didn't take a similar stance against FTX, but I am sure it had nothing to do with Sam Bankman-Fried's political donations. There are also concerns that Binance, and entities controlled by CZ, are trading against customers. But I am not sure why the SEC cares, since every retail stock brokerage does the same thing. While these additional charges against Binance are more serious than those against Coinbase, the primary complaints against them are the same. The key question of these lawsuits is whether cryptocurrencies are securities and thus the extent of SEC jurisdiction. The conundrum is that the SEC wants exchanges and cryptocurrencies to register, but there is no way for them to do so. And this is another reminder that government is really good at its job. The Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 serve as the backbone of securities law in the U.S. I am no legal scholar, but I couldn't find any mention of cryptocurrency in these acts that are now 90 years dated. Moreover, the Howey test uses 4 components to determine whether an asset is a security, and all 4 areas must be met. The primary problem for the SEC is that there is no universal agreement on whether cryptos pass the Howey test. Despite this, the SEC outlined several cryptocurrencies that they considered securities in their lawsuits. The SEC's current stance is that Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities and virtually all other cryptos are considered securities. The reality is likely far more complicated. It is unclear whether cryptos fit into a security or commodity framework or require an entirely new regulatory regime. The lawsuits could take years to play out, and crypto exchanges will ultimately move to whatever jurisdiction that wants to take their money. Moreover, crypto becomes more decentralized each day, and its value proposition is largely driven by its ability to operate outside the scope of any one jurisdiction. The lack of regulatory oversight and intervention is a feature, not a bug. At the end of the day, the one law that should govern crypto is that crypto shouldn't have laws. Crypto has always been skeptical of exchanges, and the only de facto law is caveat emptor. Speaking of caveat emptor, watch my ultimate guide to trading meme coins. It will show you how to make millions or lose all of your money.